Hey everybody! I thought it was I assumed it was the studio version in the computer, but that was what I meant to open with. But anyway, kind of an unconventional opening to today's show. But this is Matt Connarton Unleashed. Our friend Mikey Martineau is here as well at the news desk. We will be, we'll shift gears in a few minutes and do the regular show. But obviously today, if you don't know, I kind of feel like crying, to be honest with you. Eddie Van Halen, dead at age 65. He had been battling throat cancer apparently for a long time. At first, I thought it might be a hoax. I saw it pop up online, and, there's been a death hoax or two before about Eddie Van Halen because he's been sick for a long time. And, a lot of conflicting reports and information about that over the past few years. But, I saw TMZ was reporting it like 30 minutes ago as I was getting ready for the show. And I was like, but I wasn't seeing it anywhere else. So I thought, well, maybe it's another hoax but then I thought, but TMZ usually gets it right. So this isn't good. And then sure enough, over the next few minutes, more news sources started reporting it. So Van Halen, one of my top 10, probably actually one of my top 5 favorite bands of all time. Eddie Van Halen, of course, influenced an entire, actually probably more than one generation of guitar players, if we're really being honest about it. My friend Michael Laughlin commented on Facebook that he was never personally a fan of Van Halen, but he mentioned that but he recognized that Eddie Van Halen, probably the most influential guitarist of his lifetime. So, and that's coming from someone who wasn't even particularly a fan of his. So, this is a tough one. This is really a tough one. I'm stunned, and it's one of those things too, where you almost, because if you were aware of his health issues, you kind of expected this day to come maybe sooner than later, but you're never really sure because he wasn't someone who talked to the media much. When Van Halen isn't doing anything, they don't even talk to anybody. You know what I mean? They don't even talk to David Lee Roth when they're not doing anything. So you never really know exactly what's going on. But there it is. It's real. Eddie Van Halen has passed away. So I'm going to, I just wanted to I'm going to play something in a moment that's a Van Halen song that's special to me for a very specific reason, but we have a call. We'll grab this because I have a feeling I might know who this is. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, Scumpy.
Hey, Scumpy, my friend. I thought it might be you. How you doing? I just saw you.
Yeah,
on Facebook live
I
chat.
just heard that news, on the way home.
Yeah.
And, geez, I'm devastated.
Yeah.
He really changed the way everybody played guitar. Everyone played any rock and roll. Look at all the bands that followed with the tickling, and oh my goodness. He was everybody's hero, man. I remember hearing his album, the first album when he played Eruption the first time in 1976. I was in a music store in Manchester called Music Center.
Oh, no kidding.
Right next door there was a McDonald's down there. It was right next door.
Yeah.
And a guy put the album on. I'm here. I go, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, 15 years old. He goes, this is Van Halen, right? Van Halen. I said, give me that. I want that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I can't believe what had just happened because
I'm sitting here getting ready for my show, and actually it was Anthony Richard, our friend Tony D from the Tony D Show. I just happened to see on Facebook he had posted something saying, "Holy yes, Eddie Van Halen just died," and honestly, my first thought was, well, maybe it's a hoax because these celebrity death hoaxes are really common, and they're often used, with people who we've heard about being sick. So then I Googled it, and at first nothing was coming up, and I was like, oh, maybe he's wrong. But then I saw TMZ was reporting it, and I was like, "Uh-oh." TMZ usually they usually get it
right. A lot
right.
of times they do those hoaxes.
Yeah,
you know?
And then within 5 minutes of that, other news outlets started reporting it as well, reputable news outlets. So it was like, no, it's real.
You're breaking this like brand new. I was I lose your reception like when I get through the toll booths, like and hooks it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the repeat of the Peter White. So I put on actually Howie Carr. He's a Trump guy. I know you're not, but
yeah.
But anyway, it's something that comes in.
Yeah,
and he goes,
of course.
and he just says a little thing. He goes, yeah, looks like Eddie Van Halen died. What? So as soon as I pulled into my driveway, I got on your show, and you're playing that Van Halen stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, he did. If Matt's playing it, it must be true. So I looked it up, and I go, oh boy.
Yeah.
You got the breaking news, Matt. I think you're way ahead of the field right now.
Well, I take no joy in it. I
know. No, come on. I mean, I got a whammy bar and all that stuff just so I could play that. Learning Eruption was like, oh boy,
dude,
crazy. One time I could play the whole thing.
I took guitar lessons. This is true, and I'm in a couple minutes. I'm going to play the song because it's special to me for this reason. I'm a bass player, but I started out on guitar, and when I was a kid, 51.
Well, I'm looking for a bass player if you want to play.
I'm pretty busy, but when I was a kid, I do appreciate the offer though. But when I was a kid, 5150, of course, the first Van Halen album with Sammy Hagar, which to this day is my favorite Van Halen album. That was the hot album at the time, and the very first song I ever learned on guitar, true story, the very first song I ever learned on guitar was "Best of Both Worlds." And I could play it now. I could play it now. I still remember.
Yeah. And that's the Hagar.
Yeah. Oh God.
But no, I remember the first time I ever heard Van Halen. Like I said, it was in a music store, and they were playing an Eruption. Who the hell is this? This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I bought the album. I brought it home, and I couldn't not stop listening to it. Yeah. I went and saw him a couple of years later. I saw him probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Back in the old days when David Lee Roth was still doing big spinning back kicks and all kinds of stuff. But all you did when you went to see Van Halen, all you did was focus on Eddie, what he was doing, because he was just so phenomenal. And look at all the guitar players that followed his kind of thing. The Steve Vai's, the Satrianis, the Malmsteens, all those guys. They wouldn't have done what they did if it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen.
He was such an innovator. I mean, and I mean the finger tapping. Nobody was really doing that until he did it. And I remember reading interviews with him where he said that when Van Halen first started playing out, when they started playing clubs, when he started doing the finger tapping, people encouraged him to turn his back to the audience when he did it because they were worried that other guitar players were going to steal that. And they were going to see.
Well, they stole it anyway.
Well, yeah, but
everybody did. I mean, I did. Yeah. Everybody did. I mean, I was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's when I learned to play guitar. I was like 15. That was about 75 or somewhere around there when I started.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Probably 76. So.
I remember taking great pride in my own finger tapping ability when I took lessons. Like that was because my guitar teacher, this guy named Merv Burton, I should look him up. He was like I remember having the conversation with him. He's like, this will be a good song for you to start with because even though it's Van Halen, just like not the solo, but just the chords. He's like, it's fair. The rhythm guitar part's fairly easy. And then I'll show you the finger tapping because I know. Because he had other students around my age. He's like, I know you want to learn how to finger tap, don't you? And I was like, well, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
I started writing stuff with that finger tapping stuff. I mean, I got my own things, It's unbelievable. It's, it changed guitar for every kid, everybody that back in our day, and my day a little earlier than yours, but it changed the way we all played guitar.
Well, my friend, I don't know if you heard me talking about my friend Mike Laughlin, his comment that I'm curious if you agree that Eddie Van Halen probably the most influential guitar player of our lifetimes.
He's right there. There's Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
course, basically invented the electric guitar and tracking, and you get some of his old, I mean, even 78s and stuff they had back then. My father had them, and man, he could pick wicked fast. And there was a guy, I forget his name. If you go on YouTube, you'll see it. You put some guy in the 50s was doing all that tickling stuff on an acoustic, and it was like, wow, really? They were doing it back then.
Oh, no kidding.
Huh. But when rock and roll came around, it was basically reinvented rock and roll. He's probably number 2 most influential guitar player of all times. Him and Les Paul. I can't think of another one.
Oh, by the way, I just got
actually changed the way guitar was played. That there's really nobody else. I mean, think about it.
By the way, a programming note. And I'll remind everybody about this later too. I just got a text message from Joe Lahr. Rest in peace, Edward Van Halen, and there will be a music tribute tonight, beginning at 7 p.m. here on WMNH.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. So I assume
I played a lot of Van Halen over the years. Unchained, put the flange in and all that stuff, and oh boy, I did a lot of them. God, over the years. Atomic Punk, I love that.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh yeah. Oh boy, wow!
Jamie's Crying. I had a girlfriend back when I was a teenager. Jamie, she was beautiful. She actually won Junior Miss New Hampshire.
Oh, well, look at you.
I used to play that with her all the time, and yeah.
Wow.
But unbelievable. I just heard this news, and it's killing me. I had to call you, Matt. I had to. I knew you'd be all over it.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you did, Scumpy. Yeah. Oh God, what a terrible day.
Yeah. Us musicians, very, our music, and it's like, Gene Simmons produced the first Van Halen album.
Yep, that's the big the connection with Kiss. Kiss, of course, being my favorite band. Yep, Gene Simmons.
Right, of course, I know. Both of us that's how I was brought up on Kiss. And then, of course, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Zeppelin, and Van Halen came up, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Then Judas Priest. I loved Judas Priest back in the old days.
But, yeah, Gene Simmons, I think he financed their first demo, if I remember correctly, Van Halen's first demo. And, he quote-unquote discovered them. There's even Scumpy, have you ever heard, I don't know if I even believe it, because I know Gene tells some tall tales, but I read a magazine interview once with Gene where he claims that Eddie Van Halen, he was frustrated with David Lee Roth, and he wanted to replace Ace Frehley and Kiss to get out of Van Halen. I don't know. I don't know if I believe it, but Gene, like I said, Gene tells some tall tales sometimes. He's known to embellish a little bit, but
I think Eddie was too good for Kiss. I mean, I don't think it would have worked.
Yeah.
It would have been strange.
Yeah.
Oh man, real strange. But.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, a little different styles, but yeah. Oh boy!
But man, I'm heartbroken. I didn't even know. I know he's been sick over the years, but I thought he was healthy again. He was looking good. He was getting sober. You'd see him on talk shows, playing some guitar. See him on YouTube doing things. I thought he was doing well.
Well, when they reunited with David Lee Roth, because they had that, I remember seeing them on that the reunion tour they did with Hagar in, I think it was 2004 or 2005. I saw them on that tour. And Eddie was awful, but he was having a hard time. He was really,
Well, Hagar said the same thing.
Yeah,
Hagar said that he was so messed up. He was boozing it up so bad he couldn't even be on the same plane with him. He was,
yes.
This is my band, and he'd get kind of like, kind of mean and drunk,
Yeah.
And thinking he's an all-star, and then he'd go out there and he would not play well.
Right.
There are some.
But then
he didn't take good. His teeth were falling out. He was partying so much. He said he went over his house, and he said it was just full of ashtrays and empty whiskey bottles everywhere.
Yeah. But then a few years later, he'd really cleaned up. Like he had turned it all around.
And he looked great.
He did, yeah. You could tell just by seeing pictures of him. He was healthy. They did the reunion tour with Roth. He was playing just like he always played, not sloppy at all, but really back to form. And you could just tell, like, he just looked happy. for the first time in a long time, he looked genuinely happy, you know, like he'd really turned it around. He was excited to be playing with his son, which I didn't like because I would have preferred they did a full reunion with Michael Anthony. But
oh yeah, of course. But Michael Anthony did well, you know, with Chicken Foot, and he did some other stuff too. Is it the Wine Dog?
The Circle. He's worked a lot.
No, Winery Dogs is
that's somebody else. Yeah, no, but yeah, but Michael Anthony, yeah, he's done well. You know, he's done a lot with Hagar and whatnot. But you know what's sad too? I mean, speaking of Hagar, it's like, you know, I had always hoped that there would be some kind of reconciliation there, and you know, it just didn't happen. And you know, and the thing is too, with something like that, you always assume there's more time. You know, you always assume you have more time to make up with someone, and at least, even if they're not going to work professionally together ever again, at least, you know, try to repair the friendship. And
exactly. I mean, I got a guy. I played guitar with Carl Clores. So I mean, going way back since we started playing, and we were friends forever. And then I don't know. He got all messed up on different things, and we kind of broke our friendship. But you know, I almost want to reach out to him now and say, "Hey, man, it's okay. I love you, man." Yeah,
no kidding, huh? Yeah,
I know he's all cleaned up now, but he's just I don't know.
Well, it'd be a good
falling out.
Good, it'd be a good time to do it then. You know, if you know he's cleaned up, and you know, it'd be a good time for you to have that conversation with him. Jesus, yeah. I mean, and you know, when I was because my favorite, I know a lot of fans prefer Roth. I love both Roth and Hagar for different reasons, but I've always
I do too.
I've always leaned. I've always leaned toward the Hagar era, you know what I mean? And like they just seemed like Roth. I mean, Hagar and Eddie always seemed like they really loved working together, you know, until the end. And then, you know, by the time Balance came out, you could kind of see they were starting to maybe not get along as much. And then I still vividly recall the day the news broke that Hagar was out of the band, and it was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. But you know, and
they had a bad thing going on.
They had a bad falling out.
It's unbelievable. But
and that reunion
they
tour.
They were even talking. Hagar, I heard him recently, and he was talking about even doing a Van Halen tour with Hagar and David Lee Roth, and doing a whole Van Halen thing. They were supposed to tour. That's what I was hearing.
He wanted
to do it together.
He wanted to do it. Yeah, he wanted to do a tour where he and Roth.
That would have been awesome.
Roth would never have gone for it, though, I don't think. But it would have been awesome. Yeah. But it's just sad to think about. But even that, like, you know, even putting all that aside as far as the band, just knowing, I mean, unless there's something we don't know about, unless there was some sort of back channel discussion we don't know about, you know, assuming that they never had the opportunity after all the great music they made together to finally just, you know, say, hey, even if we're never going to play in this band together again, let's be friends, let's be brothers. And I can only imagine what Sammy is feeling like, you know, because like I said, you always assume, I mean, Sammy, he's in his 70s, so he might not have assumed it as much as others.
But you know, he looks like he's in his 50s. He's unbelievable in great shape.
Oh, I know. He still sings incredible. But you always assume, you know, you just, it's human nature. We always take for granted there's more time. There'll be time eventually to patch things up, and then time runs out.
Yeah, but you know, no one will ever play like that again.
I know.
I mean, and be such an influence and such a drive on all. You know how many? There's probably millions of kids that picked up a guitar because they heard Eddie Van Halen play.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
millions and millions.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Scumpy.
Anyway, Matt, I'll let you go, man. I'm going to mourn.
Yeah. Well, listen.
I do have good news, though. Wait, I have good news.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, we could use some.
My son is out of the military.
Okay. He's out?
Finally. I'm going to out, and I'm going to see him tomorrow. We're going to play some golf. I get the day off.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. Enjoy that time with him.
So I'm going to see my son for the first time in probably almost 2 years.
Wow, no kidding. Oh,
Yes, I'm so psyched about that.
I bet. Yeah, that's
Too
great.
bad this Van Halen thing had to drop on my head, you know?
I know.
I'm
Well,
going to go in and plug in, you know,
Oh.
and play some Van Halen songs. I'm going to
yeah, there you
put my
go.
guitar in the... Oh, yeah.
Scumpy, how is Lenny doing?
Oh, yeah. How is Lenny doing?
Lenny, I have to go to a court thing for him tomorrow. It's like they want me there, the doctors, and there's it's like a guardianship because they really want to put him in a thing because he's not taking care of himself well. He needs assistance. And living in his apartment, he can't do it, and so I have to go for a whole hearing and see if the state might take over. He's not going to be like locked up. It's more of a group home. Like if I want to take him out golfing, I can. I go pick him up. I can take him to lunch, take him to dinner. He can come over for barbecues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But he needs care. So
yeah,
that's the way it looks like it's going to be. They're not going to do the doesn't look like they're going to do the valve replacement. They said his heart stabilized. Once they got rid of his blood infection, they found out it was coming through his bad teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Infection.
Okay.
And it went to his heart.
Yeah.
And it messed with his valves, and
so
they said it's stabilized good enough where he probably doesn't need it.
That's
but
great.
He's going to need almost 24-hour a day care.
Yeah, but not needing the surgery. That's good news.
So it really sucks because he just wants to go home, but
yeah.
But I don't know. I'll find out everything tomorrow. I don't want to get into too much more than that. But, we all love Lenny.
Of course.
He was a good part of the morning show for a while. And he loves all you guys down there. That was part of the best times of his life, he tells me. Oh, yeah, tell them all. He said hi down there at WMNH. Tell Peter and Matt and, Paul E.C. Tell them all. I love them,
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, Scumpy, before you go, so I'm going to play... In a couple of minutes, I'm going to play Best of Both Worlds for my own reasons, which I explained earlier. And I want to play another.
Gotcha.
I want to play, but I want to play two. So I want to play another song after that. So give me, what would you like to hear for the second song?
You know what? I'd like to hear Atomic Punk.
Atomic Punk. That's a good choice.
I love that song,
I do
man.
too.
I learned it, even the leads, man, and it's great. It cranks.
That's a very good choice. So I'll play that as well. Yeah, definitely. You got it, my friend.
Sounds good, Matt. Thank you so much.
All right, Scumpy. Thank you for calling. I'm really glad you did.
Yeah, I love you, brother, man.
All right.
Peace on.
All right, you too, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
All right, the great Jeff Scumpy Lorenz. Before we play something, there's a lot of comments in the Facebook live chat about this too, so we'll look at these quickly. If you are just joining us, Eddie Van Halen just passed away. Oh, by the way, too, because people are going to be confused if I don't mention this, we're not doing our normal Tuesday call with Congressman Chris Pappas, not because of Eddie Van Halen's death. It's completely coincidental. But the congressman is not able to join us this week. Things are pretty intense in Washington these days. So he apologizes, but he will be joining us next Wednesday at 4:30. So we'll have to, we might have to adjust things as we go. But, he's a very busy guy and things are, like I said, things are pretty intense in D.C. But he's just not going to be able to join us this week. So, but Scumpy, also the first one in the Facebook live chat, says, OMG, heartbroken. Paul Cormier says, Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace. Bobby Champagne, stunned and heartbroken, no words. Jenny says, wow. Rob Dion is in the Facebook live chat. Jenny did share in the Facebook live chat the article from Variety.com about Eddie's passing. Bobby Champagne says, referring to, we were talking about really influential guitarists, Eddie Van Halen and Roy Clark and Les Paul. Yeah, we talked about Eddie and, of course, Les Paul. Roy Clark, also very influential, and Carlos Santana, Bobby says. Stacy Lawton, also known as DJ Lady Stace, says, I am late. I'm sorry. What did I miss? The passing of Eddie Van Halen. Oh yes, Mikey, you answered her in the Facebook live chat,
Yeah.
as did Bobby. Bob Witz is in the Facebook live chat. Coach Witz, as you know him, Mikey.
Yep, and it's it's Natural Coaches Day. So for all the coaches that I've had over the years in my life so far in sports, and with all the coaches I've got to meet and everything, it's awesome, and to have a day dedicated to them.
That is very cool. Yeah,
it is awesome. And,
yeah,
and it's like, and Coach Woods is one of them that has had a tremendous influence on me in my life. Even though I've only known him for like 5 years, but still being a opposing coach, it's always nice to interact with your opposition coaches and seeing what they're doing, and it creates friendships for life.
Very cool. Bobby Champagne says, has anyone said how or from what? So, well, Eddie Van Halen, so he, years ago, he had tongue cancer, but apparently, and that was handled, but more recently he had throat cancer. And from what I understand about his treatments, he was having the cancerous cells scraped from his throat periodically. It's a little complicated. I'm not sure I completely understand, but it caught up with him. From what I was reading earlier, it had spread to his brain and other organs. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, Matt. You can call me Shaky. That's what a lot of people do. It's a real sad day, sure, that we lost Eddie. And I know you're putting him up there on the top of the shelf, but not to, downplay it. But don't forget Angus Young. He was in there, too.
Oh, as far as guitar players, yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah,
Absolutely. There's a new, I just saw online the other day, there's a teaser for the new AC/DC single that's coming out. And it sounds like AC/DC, very much so. But yeah, Angus Young, you're right. Absolutely. Hugely influential.
All right, my friend. Good to hear from you.
All right, Shaky. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yep, definitely got to put Angus on the list. But yeah, so Eddie, yeah, he had the tongue cancer. He actually had to have part of his tongue removed. And he had always claimed that his personal belief was that he would play with these metal guitar picks. Guitar picks are usually plastic. Like, I've never used a metal one. But he would play with these metal picks, and he had a tendency of, especially like if he's going to do some finger tapping, he'd put the metal guitar pick in his mouth and rest it on his tongue. And he always thought that that's what caused the cancer, was putting that metal guitar pick on his tongue for several minutes at a time. Maybe, but I always thought too, Eddie Van Halen was a notorious chain smoker his entire adult life, and probably most people who smoke started smoking when they were kids, when they were teenagers at least. So, and by all accounts, it was he just was a chain smoker for decades and decades. So, it's easy to see how he would end up with cancer from that. But the tongue cancer was dealt with. But then he, I remember just maybe a year ago reading online, because again, he didn't talk to the press much. Nobody in Van Halen does. Van Halen is one of those bands. It's funny because, I'll often compare bands to Kiss and how they do things, or contrast bands with Kiss, because Kiss is my favorite band. Kiss is like ubiquitous. Like, even when they're not touring or they don't have a new album or something, they're always visible somehow, right? Whether it's, Gene Simmons for many years had a reality show, or or somebody's going on a talk show or doing appearances or something, right? There's always something happening with Kiss. Van Halen has always kind of been the opposite. AC/DC is another example of this too, where when they don't have a new album and or tour to promote, they vanish. Like, you just don't see them or hear from them at all. They don't engage with the media at all. So unless you're hearing their songs on a classic rock station, that's it. It's like other than that, they don't exist when they're not actively promoting something. And Van Halen has tended to be kind of an extreme example of that, where, you know, the Van Halen brothers, they just don't talk to the media. You know, and even when they do have something to promote, they don't talk to the media that much. So there hasn't been a lot of information. And, you know, David Lee Roth has dropped hints about things, but he even seemed to be in the dark a lot of the time. But then I remember about a year ago reading that Eddie Van Halen, in fact, did have throat cancer and was going to Europe, like once a month was going to Europe, where these doctors were scraping the cancerous cells out of his throat. And so not really curing the cancer or doing anything to cure the cancer, but just kind of keeping it at bay, if that makes sense. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's me, Shake again. Hey, listen, I just heard something the other day.
Yeah.
And I really don't know if I heard it on your guys' radio station or not, but it was pretty cool information for those who may have not heard it. And they talked about Van Halen right out of high school. They were playing gigs, and they were popular, but, you know, they just beginners. And they decided to do clubs and whatever, and the clubs were so-so. But then they came up with the idea of playing, like, small venues, like 3,000, 4,000 seats, and they used to charge $1 a piece for entry, and they were making a fortune on it and doing well. And I thought that was pretty cool. You know, that was tidbits of brand new early bird Van Halen, but you know, the crowd loved them, and that's how it started.
I've never heard that story, but I believe it. And you know, I think if somebody in the band came up with that idea, it was probably David Lee Roth, because he was always, at least from what I've read, at least to hear him tell it, a pretty business-minded guy from the beginning. And Sammy Hagar, in fact, has said that when he was in the band, he basically ran the band, because even though it was Van Halen and it was started by the Van Halen brothers, those guys had no business sense, no organizational skills or anything. So, you know, David Lee Roth ran the band, and then Sammy Hagar ran the band. But yeah, I find that easy to believe. I've never heard that story, but I believe it. And it was probably DLR's idea.
I only heard it about 3 or 4 days ago, and I thought it might have come from your radio station.
That might have.
Who knows where I got it from?
Yeah, they might have been talking about it on the morning show or on Rob Azevedo's show. I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. I'm curious. Yeah.
All right, brother. Talk to you.
All right, Shaky. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Alex Whiteley from the UK is in the Facebook live chat. He says, this is why we need that Oasis reunion, not a comparison to the music, more of Troubled Waters. Yeah, of course, Oasis, you have the Gallagher brothers, Liam and Noel Gallagher, who are, I don't know if they even speak to each other anymore. They're known for not getting along. Stacey Lawton says, this year has taught me to appreciate all things and all people, as I've lost a few loved ones this year. Very sad day for music. Bill Boyles is in the Facebook live chat. He says, R.I.P. EV. Stacey said, I am doing my first going live with Stacey Lawton as a live recorded podcast and broadcast live. My guest and I will be talking about the homeless situation in Nashua, Manchester, and around the state. We are going to talk about things we can do to help on MixLR at 6 p.m. Eastern. And she shared a link to that in the Facebook live chat. Well, listen, we'll take a break, and I'm going to play a couple of Van Halen songs, and then, you know, when we come back, we'll kind of proceed with a normal-ish show. I mean, I'm certainly open to more Van Halen discussion on this very, very sad day, but we might do some other things as well. God knows there's a million things going on. Boy, this just continues to be quite a year, doesn't it? This 2020. So we're gonna play Best of Both Worlds. This is from my personal favorite Van Halen album, 5150. And again, this song is special to me because it's the very first song that I learned to play on the guitar when I was taking guitar lessons as a kid. I also have a nice memory of, when Van Halen, they released at that time it was a video cassette, a VHS cassette of their concert special that they did called Live Without a Net. And it was from this tour, the 5150 tour. And I had borrowed a copy of it from a friend of mine. And I was watching it on a Sunday night. And my dad, he also really liked Van Halen. My dad and I liked the same music. Like when I was growing up, we never had that thing that a lot of people have with their parents where, you know, your parents are like, how can you listen to that garbage? Yeah, back in my day, music was good and the music of your generation is terrible. No, my dad always, my dad's never been like that. My dad likes, even to this day, and he's in his 70s, he loves hearing new music. You'd never catch him listening to an oldies station. He lives, on the seacoast, and he loves WUNH, the big college radio station on the seacoast, just because he loves hearing new stuff. But so we never had that sort of generation gap as far as music, because he always wanted to remain current and was sincere about it. He genuinely loved new music. So so he liked Van Halen, and he also really liked the album 5150. Maybe I'll play that too, the song 5150. That's my dad's favorite song. But by Van Halen. But I remember watching Live Without a Net, and my dad watched it with me, and it was on a Sunday night, and it was my bedtime by the time we got finished watching the video, and you know, it was about 90 minutes long. It was a full concert from New Haven, Connecticut, or as Sammy Hagar declared it, New Halen, Connecticut, during the video. It's probably I'm sure it's on YouTube. It's really good. It's worth a watch if you're a Van Halen fan, if you haven't seen it. But I remember at the end of it, my dad loved it so much. He actually said to me, and it was past my bedtime, because I always had bedtimes growing up. My dad actually said to me, do you want to watch the first part of it again? Do you want to watch the first couple of songs again? And I was like, okay. And I knew in that moment that I was going to get to stay up way past my bedtime, because there was no way he was going to make me shut it off after the first couple of songs. So we ended up watching the entire thing again, and I got to stay up late with my dad watching the Van Halen concert on a Sunday night. It's just very unusual during my childhood. Anyway, so this is we'll play this. We'll play Best of Both Worlds, and then we'll play. Atomic Punk, which was Scumpy's request. And then we'll play, you know what? Then we'll play the title track from 5150, which is my dad's favorite Van Halen song. And then it'll be almost 5 o'clock, and we'll probably, the second hour of the show, we'll do more of a standard Matt Connarton Unleashed, because there is plenty to discuss. Boy. All right, here we go. Love this.
picture in a gallery. Fallen angel look a lot like you. We forget where we come from. Sometimes I had a dream it was really you. Something reached out and touched me. Now I know. I want the best. Forever, honey. I know what it's worth if we
cardio burn.
Hey, everybody. I don't know why that just happened, but I'll try again later. Welcome. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. I was playing Eruption, the studio version, and it just stopped for some reason. But we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this? Hello?
Hello. Please don't hang up.
Okay.
You've called numerous times to verify your business with Google.
Oh.
Our records show that your business is not verified. Press 1 now so we can verify your business with Google. If you're the business owner, press 1 now.
Beep.
If your account is not verified, customers searching for your services on Google will not find your listing. Press 1 now to verify your listing. Press 2 to
What?
be removed from this list.
What should I do, Mikey? Should I press 1 to verify? I'm kind of worried if I don't verify our listing. I'll just hang up because it sounds like somebody else is trying to call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi there, Matt. Hey, I don't know if you got a hold of it or not, but did you hear about Eddie Van Halen?
Yes, Mary. That's what we've
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing. Actually, we've been playing Van Halen songs.
Yeah, 'cause I just came over and it was just I got a bulletin over on my phone
Yeah.
that he had died. I remember him. Oh my goodness, 65 years old. That's young.
Yeah, it's a tough day.
It is.
You know, one of
He's
one of my
one of the best.
absolutely. No,
Yeah, he really was.
I feel like crying.
Yeah.
It's
We're losing too many young people and too many losing too many of them right now.
Yeah. He had well, he'd been through a couple of battles with cancer actually, but apparently this last one was
Yeah.
you could never be sure exactly what was going on with him because he didn't really talk to the media very much. Very, very private.
Yeah.
Very private.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he'd do a show and that was it.
yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, then. See that you guys already know. So, we'll catch you later. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks, Mary. You too. Take care.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Boy, I'm just worried about that previous call. I hope, I hope I didn't mess up by not registering. So, boy, I'll tell you, a little hard to focus with the news. If you are just joining us, Eddie Van Halen at age 65 has died. We have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's Jenny.
Hey, what's up?
So, Don COVID is at it again. He's up and being wonderful. Don COVID, our great illustrious leader,
Yes.
thinks that though we're in the middle of the plague, businesses are collapsing all the time now, like daily jobs are missing, and instead of negotiating with Congress and trying to get a stimulus bill as fast as possible to help businesses, help people, help schools, Don COVID has decided that we cannot have that negotiation until after America reelects him. So it's now a political pawn on whether or not some people are going to get to keep their houses or business owners are able to pay their employees and help them out. It's just schools need money, too bad, too sad. You have to reelect the Don COVID in order to do this.
Yeah, I saw something about that on Reuters, although now I'm having trouble finding the article. But I also see that, you had put in the Facebook live chat, breaking, President Trump has instructed his top aides to stop negotiating with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Democratic lawmakers on coronavirus stimulus legislation until after the November election.
And here's part of a further quote from him. After I win, we will pass a major stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses. But Don COVID says small businesses be, fakaka for now, because they're not going to get anything unless they elect him, they say.
Was that
He's literally told his aides, no more negotiations with Pelosi. No more negotiations with anyone. We're not going to do this until after the November election.
Well, Reuters is reporting Senate Republican leader agrees with Trump on ending COVID relief talks. Yeah. Mitch McConnell
Every
says he
time I
agrees.
think that the Republican Party can't go down into any lower of a level,
They keep doing it.
Yeah, it says here, asked if he backed Trump's decision, McConnell told reporters at the Capitol that he did. Quote, I think his view was that we were not going to produce a result and we need to concentrate on what's achievable, unquote. Wow.
Well, from what they're saying, Pelosi wants a $2.4 trillion bailout for cities, for municipalities. And Trump, his quote is, we made a very generous offer of $1.6 trillion, and as usual, she is not negotiating in good faith. So, in their great royal wisdom, in their megalomania, they have decided that our country only needs 1.6 million. But at 1.6 trillion compared to 2.4 trillion is pretty far off. And I got a feeling Pelosi's closer to the number that we need to actually help our communities, keep our schools going, keep our emergency services going. All of this stuff costs money. I'm done with him. I'm done with his mafia-like megalomanian attitude. And it's unfortunately, people are reading into his illness the wrong way. Some people think he's Jesus, the second coming, walking on water now.
Oh, of course.
And others just, nobody realized the treatment that he just got, you would never get. There's not a single listener anywhere in the vicinity of this station or anywhere in the world, as a matter of fact, that has access to the treatment he does, because one of the medications he was given hasn't been given to anybody yet until now. Now it's being given to him. This whole cocktail they've made, he's the first person in the world to ever be given that cocktail in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly, my prediction is in a couple of weeks from now, the fallout from the Rose Garden massacre is going, the number of people who get sick because Don COVID had to have his, high-profile smoothie thing. And you know what else, Matt? He also, after he got home last night, it wasn't good enough for everything he'd already done. And he stood there saluting for 2 solid minutes on the deck to, whoever.
Well,
God, I don't know.
they were shooting video of that for a campaign video. That's why.
Almost right. You're almost right. So check this out. Yes, they videotaped him when he went up there, but he didn't like it. So he had them redo the video.
Yeah.
And then those things for the campaign ad that they threw out last night.
Yeah.
They've literally, if being responsible for 210,000 deaths isn't bad enough, and that science that he just got to take advantage of to help him medically, 210,000 people died to create that treatment for today.
Yeah.
Don't lose sight of the number of lives that have been lost. And the World Health Organization is now reporting that only about 10% of the world has been infected, nowhere near herd immunity for the world.
Yeah.
We're not there. And, I'm serious. I'm calling him Don COVID for a really good reason, because he is acting like a Don. He is acting like a mafia boss. My way or the highway. My way, or I'll give you a silly nickname and ruin your career. Or, forcing people to be in situations that they literally could cost somebody their life with the plague. Because he gets Cadillac care. There's an ICU room in the White House.
Oh, yeah.
If things go south for him, he's surrounded by everything necessary to save his life.
Yep.
You're not.
That's right. That's right.
They could have that man intubated inside of a moment.
Yeah.
Inside, you couldn't go to the bathroom and come out as fast as they could have that man intubated and on support.
And we'd never even know about it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Unless they told us.
Yeah, which they wouldn't.
it's one thing to try and project strength and courage like JFK, but it's another thing altogether to be a megalomaniac running a mafia government and literally, holding people's livelihoods and lives over their head if you don't play nice with him. If we don't get that man out of office now, I'm terrified of what's going to come next. I've never been more afraid of anything in my life.
I think, he knows. I mean, they must all know. He knows. McConnell knows. I mean, it's over for them. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily over for McConnell, although it could be. But, I mean, at this point, I mean, Biden got a big bump out of that debate because Trump looked like such a jerk. He
was a jerk.
I've seen.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
You know what though? In the moment that he turned around and went after Biden's son, I thought it was amazing, excellent, and showed a very good ability to really think well on your feet. Biden turned around and said, you want to pull my son to this? Yeah, my son did have a drug problem, and he did get help, and he's clean now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that need that help.
Yeah. I feel like if it wasn't for everything else going on with COVID and and a few other things, I think that we would be hearing, if it were a more, if there were campaign rallies and going on, I think that that Hunter Biden and Burisma would be this election cycle's version of butter emails and Benghazi. You know what I mean? You say, like you say anything negative about Trump, and the response you would get would be, but what about Hunter Biden and Burisma?
Yeah. It's always that way, and it's really sad. It's really sad that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We have racial injustice, distress throughout our nation. People are dying that shouldn't be dying every day if we would just do things the right way, and if we would stand up and demand judicial change and policing changes like we've talked about. There's so many important things going on right now, but we're stuck with a guy who has to have a press crew reshoot him coming into the home and risking everyone getting sick, because we know for a fact that he is literally shedding disease right now. He is shedding disease right now, period.
Yeah.
Anybody that comes in contact with him puts themselves at risk. And you're putting people at risk for a photo op. So you didn't learn anything from tear gassing people so you could hold a Bible upside down.
Right. Yeah. He knows it's over. He's just trying to get a little bit of glory on his way out the door.
I think that my nation has better desires in their mind, and to be the Jerry Springer for the rest of our existence until we blow ourselves up at this point.
And he also looks really bad in that debate because he mocked Joe Biden for wearing a mask, and then look what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no way to actually tell. The early numbers are starting to come in on how many people have been infected. There was a couple of people who work in housekeeping in the White House that have been infected, which I know there's going to be more of that coming out.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to say how far-reaching this is, but without a doubt, because he's spreading disease all over the place, I have zero doubt in my mind that there are going to be people dead in direct succession from him.
Oh, yeah.
He gave it to somebody, and they gave it to somebody, and they took it home to their kid who's got leukemia, or they took it home to May who's got COPD. People are going to die that would have never died.
Mm-hmm.
If he hadn't had been such a megalomaniac that he has to have everything his own way as he wants it, no matter, lives be damned, he has to look correct.
Yeah.
In his eyes.
Yeah.
He's Caesar. He's a modern day Caesar.
But he's so incapable of empathy. He can't even, he says things like, don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate you and this and that. And he can't bring himself to say anything about the people who have died. Or
people forget that you're talking about a dude who's never experienced healthcare the way you and I have. They've never had to walk into an ER and wait. They've never had to call doctors and chase prescriptions and, get X-ray. He's never had to do any of that. He's had health care handed to him on a silver platter since he was born. They don't know how to empathize with something they've never had to experience.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to wait for anything because when they walk through the door, people just fall over themselves to hand it to them.
Yeah. Mike Doyle just sent an email. He says, Matt, not sure who is telling falsehoods about the stimulus, but the Republicans have approved $1.6 trillion. That is $1.6 trillion that can go to the people to help with everything, but the Democrats will not approve it because they want $500 billion to go to municipalities to bail out retirement plans, etc., which has nothing to do with the virus. Republicans have asked for a clean bill only to have to do with the virus. The Democrats say no, they want to add money for bailouts of retirement systems.
Oh, no. I say to nay, you, my friend, are behind the eight ball. Quote, Trump tweeted on Twitter, quote, I have instructed my representatives to stop negotiations until after the election, when immediately after I win, we will pass a majority stimulus bill that focuses on hardworking Americans and small businesses. End Trump quote. Don Trump has spoken, and Don Trump has said there shall be no further negotiations. There will be no further talk of stimulus. How dare you, Don Trump says, the peasants of this world expect me to sign a paper that maybe gives you a lousy $1,000 that doesn't pay anybody's rent, never
Right.
mind eating. But I digress. No, my dear. You need to go read your Don Trump's tweet wall. Apparently you were tweeted too behind, but that's easy to do with him, so I forgive you.
Well, apparently we can work on confirming a Supreme Court justice during an election, but we can't have negotiations for a new stimulus bill.
Exactly.
I don't think Republicans can ram her through fast enough before the virus takes a few of them out of the ability to vote. They're all going to end up in quarantine. Look at all the people that were at the Rose Garden massacre. And there's already, what are they, up to 18 now? When I woke up, I think it was 10 or 11, and then, in short order, it turned into 18. Well, that number's going to keep climbing.
It's a super spreader event.
Get a few more senators, and they're not going to have the vote.
Well, we saw the video. They're all, hugging each other and talking right in each other's faces, and hardly anyone's wearing a mask, and there's no social distancing. But, let's be honest. If it were more about protecting yourself, everybody would be protecting themselves. But because it's more about protecting other people, these people are sociopaths, and they just don't care. They just don't care.
And it's sad.
Yeah.
It is sad.
Yep, they couldn't care less. So
we have states that have blown through budgets from all the different things that we've had to try and come up with ways of feeding children every day. School buses going out with food to feed children every day. Unemployment benefits for those that have had to be furloughed. There's so much that's happened. There isn't a state that's, going to be like, we're sitting pretty. We got plenty of money. No state is doing that. Every state has had to see expenditures they weren't expecting.
yeah,
But unfortunately, we can't expect Republicans to care, especially those who have Cadillac health care. I mean, Chris Christie went, oh, no, I have it. And less than 12 hours later, he's admitted to a hospital, probably in a private room with private nurses and guards, and, ring a bell, get filet mignon delivered. If you think I'm lying, I'm not. When I stayed in Brigham and Women's Hospital more than one stay, I can tell you for certain that you can actually get filet mignon if you are on the 17th floor.
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yes, you can do that in a hospital, and yes, these people do that. You, my friend, will get put in a cup.
right.
And you'll be lucky to get a bed because they're overcrowded as is right now, and it's only going to get worse as we get into the season of sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Typical winter, we always have higher levels of we were already on a mental health bed crisis. If you thought that went away while you weren't paying attention, it's not. We have patients being held in hospitals all around this country, and definitely around New Hampshire, that are holding people who don't have a bed in a mental health facility and need it. Add people who are sick, add COVID, add short staff, and this is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare, and we do not have a president leading us together to deal with this. We have a Don for the Don COVID era who's more impressed by creating Jerry Springer moments.
Well, he is our first reality television president. But I mean, it's coming back to Biden.
One.
All the polling data that I've seen in the last couple of days shows that overwhelmingly Americans are not pleased. It's not just Biden spiking. In terms of his lead over Trump in the polls, when you look at polls about Trump's handling of COVID-19, Trump's handling of his own health situation, et cetera, America is not impressed and is not pleased. And, I'm more convinced than ever that he's going to lose this election. And, I'm an independent, but I am hoping for a blue wave. I want to see Republicans punished for giving us Trump and for enabling him and protecting him at every turn.
There's literally nothing that's ever going to make up to this society the number of lives that have been wiped off this planet because of the governmental inaction and the emphasis of their power, their greed and just blinded in their power in the wrong directions, at the wrong things that aren't helping us.
Yeah. Well, also, too, people like to argue about masks, but, the CDC, the World Health Organization, epidemiologists everywhere, it goes on and on and on. The overwhelming consensus is, and this is what it really comes down to me, the overwhelming consensus is if we had done what Japan did and got everybody wearing a mask, Japan got 80%. Japan didn't even shut everything down. They got 80% of their population wearing masks and social distancing when it wasn't possible to wear masks. That's basically what they did. And they were able to drive COVID-19 into the ground in Japan. If our president from the beginning, or at least from very early, had encouraged people to wear masks, because we know MAGA people will do anything Daddy says, if that had been the message from the beginning, virtually every Republican in this country, not just Democrats and non-Republicans, but virtually every Republican in this country would be wearing a mask and following the rules, and we could have gotten through this whole thing a lot quicker. But because of his refusal to do that, because of his dismissive attitude about it, because he went so far as to mock his opponent during a presidential debate about wearing a mask, because of his stubbornness, most Republicans won't. They don't take it seriously, and they won't wear a mask, which, Rob Redfield of the CDC said that is the number one most important thing we can do, perhaps second only to washing our hands on a consistent basis. Wear them. Even Mitch McConnell says wear the damn mask. But nope, as long as Daddy says, it's not really important. That's the only reason. That is the only reason millions of Republicans in this country won't do it, and why they've convinced themselves that it's unpatriotic to wear a face mask. All Trump had to do was say, please, everyone wear a mask, and they would all be wearing masks right now. It's really as simple as that, but he couldn't even do that.
Nope. Can't do that. You can't give anybody credit for anything if he didn't think of it first. If he didn't go along with it. Look at, and you know what's sick about it is look back. Pence was saying, wear a mask, social distance.
Yeah.
He was out there saying all that.
Yep.
And Trump just ran right over him, and everybody went, no, you got to follow Don Trump, Don COVID. You got to follow Don COVID. You can't have, we can't listen to Pence yet.
Yep.
And realistically, I still question if not Pence should not be in charge today, given the fact that the president is sick, is on experimental medication, is on medication that hasn't been given to another human, is on a combination that's never been given to another human in the world ever. And the steroid they gave him, if you look at his face, the steroid they gave him, you can see the signs of it because he's got the steroid shine on his face, where you can see more red than orange. You can see the difference in his skin tone. and that makes me feel like, obviously they gave him high dose steroids. We don't know exactly how that's going to affect him, but I think even you would recall when you were given steroids, the kind of, wow, I feel great feeling after being administered high dose steroids in an IV. And what you were given was was not to the equivalency of this. It's a easier steroid.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't take long once you started taking them that you'd start having more energy and getting up and doing things. And some of that's from the steroid effect. He's been given a super strong one. It can affect the way you think.
Oh, of course.
It's just, we're playing with fire in a horrible way. And it would just be safer for the country and better for the country if we let the man heal and get better and let Pence run the country while we're doing it. I'm not saying hand the government over to anyone.
He'd certainly be more competent.
He's the one running the thing right now, and now we don't have any stimulus to look forward to. We've got nothing that's going to bail us out, and we've got nothing that's going to stand in the way of racial divide. We've got nothing stopping. When is it ever going to end? Who's going to stop it? Who's going to stop all this horrible things that are happening and turning our nation into a third world nation?
Yeah. Stocks are going down. Brian Mackey pointed that out in the Facebook live chat, and Reuters is reporting it also. Wall Street's taken a nosedive. Trump is always bragging about
because
how well
of that announcement.
Yeah.
Because of those tweets that he just did.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd love it if one of those Republicans that likes to chime in, in the chat rooms or what have you, and go, "Oh, you're lying," and who now hears it, "Yeah, I told you the truth. I read you the tweet." Would ever even once go, "Geez, you were right, I'm sorry." But they don't. They just make an excuse, and they'll go along their way and find some way of twisting it that somehow they can still make me out to be a liar for simply reading Don COVID's tweet, word for word.
Yeah.
And with that, my dear, I think I should let Mikey in here.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you for the call.
You got it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Jenny leaves us. Well, actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Mikey is here, but we're going to play we'll take a quick break because I need to refill my water, and I do want to play another Van Halen song. If you haven't heard the news, most likely you have, but Eddie Van Halen passing away today at age 65 from cancer. There will be a Van Halen tribute tonight starting at 7 p.m. here on WMNH, so you'll want to tune in for that. I'm going to play, here's another song that I learned on the guitar when I was a kid. Not the first one that I learned, but the first one that I learned was Best of Both Worlds from 5150. But I also went back later and learned this one from the first album. Actually, it's the first track on the first album. This is Running with the Devil. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. It's Running with the Devil by Van Halen, and Eddie Van Halen passing away today at age 65. So we've talked a little bit of politics today, as we normally do here on Matt Connarton Unleashed, but I'm sure preoccupied. Mikey Martineau's here as well at the news desk, and I think we have a call. We'll grab this. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's EDG. I've been opening my Facebook page after my 2-hour nap, and Paul Cormier, the place to be, alerted me that Eddie Van Halen had passed away, so rest in peace.
Yeah.
I never saw the guy, but I feel like I've seen Van Halen before, because back in the 80s, I saw David Lee Roth on a big skateboard. I mean, not skateboard, but a big, what do you call it?
Surfboard?
Going to the ocean.
Yeah, surfboard.
Surfboard, yeah, big surfboard all through the downtown, down by the river there. And that was a pretty good show.
Yeah, David Lee Roth, when he left the band and really dove full bore
in the 90s.
into his
late 80s or early 90s.
His solo career. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he had cancer, I guess, so.
Yes.
He's been sick for a long time.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, it's a very sad day.
Yeah,
Okay, we have a lot of action
as I always
outside.
tell everybody, cancer sucks.
We do have a lot of, I hear sirens.
Yeah.
But I feel good. You know, the Donald Trump's running his mouth everywhere and running wild. I voted for his opponent today and put it in the mail.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Biden, but I just can't not stand the Donald Trump anymore.
No
Don't
more.
wish him any harm, death, and foul, but the guy is totally out of control. We'll see if you believe a friend of mine. He says Donald Trump would rather die than lose the election.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's a friend of mine's philosophy about Donald Trump. He can't stand the guy either.
Yeah. Not my favorite president of my lifetime, certainly.
Yeah, I think he's become one of the worst presidents I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. I like Jenny's idea of calling him Don COVID.
Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. He knows he's going to lose.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no way.
If this was any normal person, he wouldn't be getting all this love from the doctors. He wouldn't be getting all this special treatment.
Oh, of course. And I knew that's how he was going to play it too. Like once he got out of the hospital, COVID's not a big deal.
Yeah, he's not even wearing his mask in the White House. Everybody's getting sick now.
Yeah, he's a super
So
spreader.
selfish.
He is. He doesn't care. He's a sociopath.
But I hate to quote that. A former leader years ago said, Alexander Haig, we get the leaders we deserve.
It's very
half
true.
the country voted the dummy in.
Exactly. Well, more than half is now going to get rid of him.
I hope so.
Can't come soon
I
enough.
felt good today voting for his opponent today.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can only hope that he's going to be all done soon, and like everybody says, he'll have to leave.
Yes.
He can't handcuff himself to the desk.
Nope. Like to
He'll
see
be
him.
told to leave on January 20th, and he will. Like I always tell people, Biden can't do any worse than this guy's done.
Agreed. That should be Biden's campaign slogan. Can't do any worse than this guy's done.
But apparently the stock market's not too happy with him today. Like you just said, it's been crashing, I guess.
Yep. Stocks are down on Trump's announcement that he will cease negotiations with the Democrats until after the election.
It was funny because the stock market took a big ride up yesterday.
Yeah. It was in positive territory, but not any longer.
It's never been that high. Of course, you can always take credit for that. I like to take credit for everything. During my time in office, the stock market's never been higher due to all my great moves. The art of the deal.
Yes. Oh, what a
that book he wrote there, and oh my God, the guy is a winner, that's for sure. Never when he was two big campaigns. He said, when I run for president, I'm going to tell everybody I'm going to be a president like you've never seen before. And that's the truth. And then he said, I'm going to surround myself with the best people available. Yeah. How come a lot of those people are in prison?
Yes. Well, there's an old saying, EZG, only the best people go to prison. Or something like that.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Only the best people go to prison. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's only the good die young. I'm sorry. I get these expressions confused. Yeah, I had that backward. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Wow. Oh boy, looks like.
Anyways, on that happy note, we'll see you tomorrow on 5 o'clock for the entertainment report. It's going to be a good one.
Are you coming in or calling in?
Oh, let me call it in. I still
Calling
feel
in.
really lousy. Speaking about that, got good news on that.
Yeah.
They'll be seeing the Melissa Stevens again. Maybe the third time's a charm for to wrap up my feet and legs over in Elias River's Edge. So we'll see if the lady can work her magic again. 'Cause I do call her the lady with the magic hands. So
Yeah. Well, good.
yes, definitely good. I haven't been able to sleep good for a while now. So I'm taking a friends of mine advice. When I come back from the Palace Theater tonight, watch the Beauty and the Beast, I'm going to have no TV and no radio tonight. He said sometimes you get too much stimulus in your brain and you can't shut it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't want
I've been
you.
watching way too much TV lately.
We don't want you hyperstimulated, Easy G.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
radio. I mean, the TV's been
concern.
off all day, so it's a good thing for me.
Good. Good for you. It's very
We'll
cleansing.
see what happens. Hopefully, I can sleep tonight because I haven't slept good for it. Off and on now for 3 months, so it's really driving me completely insane.
Get some rest before you go see Melissa Stevens.
Well, I just took 2-hour nap, so I should be all set for tonight.
She's got the
See you
magic
tomorrow
hands.
around 5 o'clock on the phone.
All right,
Bye,
Eric.
bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Easy G, Eric Gagnon. By the way, so those sirens, Jenny said in the Facebook live chat that someone got hit by a car. Elm at West Salmon, a vehicle versus pedestrian. Salmon. That's over here.
That's towards Webster. So that's right at the intersection with what is that building called now? Like TD Bank's right there, and then you got the big I don't remember the name of it. It's a big tower down that way.
Hey, weren't you supposed to do some on-air thing against Eric
Yesterday or the week before?
at some point? Weren't you like a battle of wits?
I think that was supposed to be last week, and then he chickened out.
Oh, he chickened out, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, how's it going? Hey, Mikey Martineau, please.
Yes?
Yes, he's right here, sir. Yes.
Yes, Mikey Martineau, give me a message about 5:30 with your phone number. Or, I'm sorry, 6:30 when you get home.
Or I'm at, yeah, I can make that work. I was going to go to an event after I get out here, but I can, yeah, I'll send you a message
Just
right
do
now.
do me a favor, Mikey. When you get a second, just private message me your phone number and the time that you want me to call you. I'll be home all night. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
I know what that means.
What does that? Who was that? That was so weird.
That's Paulie C.
It was? It didn't sound like him to me.
It is.
Oh, and I know why he wants to talk to you. It didn't sound, I totally didn't recognize his voice. That was weird. Huh. Maybe because he didn't identify himself.
Yeah.
But I know why he was. Can we say why he's, or is that meant to be a surprise?
He didn't have a topic on the morning show this morning, so I think so. Listeners, I'll be the subject of Paulie C's Baker's Dozen trivia tomorrow morning on the morning show.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. So he's going to ask you questions, some of them likely of a personal nature.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Very good. Yes. The Easy G one was stellar. I was particularly intrigued to learn of when Easy G's first kiss took place.
Yes.
Ripe old age. Anyway. But no, that's very exciting. So, but your battle of wits with Easy G, he chickened out?
Yeah, he chickened out last week, and then I was supposed to be on the morning show yesterday morning. I did not do a no call no show. I texted Peter about 30 minutes before the show because I had a late night Sunday night and Monday was my day off. So I slept in. So they were wondering if I was all right, and I was after I listened to the replay later on that day. And then EGG chicken out of being on the morning show this morning. So
so you have won by forfeit.
yes.
Yes. What do you get for that? Do you win a prize for beating EZG, for defeating him in your battle of wits?
Nope. Just the acknowledgement that I did.
The satisfaction of knowing that you've defeated EZG. Michael Alber is in the Facebook live chat. He says, devastated, just read that Eddie Van Halen died. Yeah. If you're just joining us, the news broke actually just a little bit before I came on the air today. So we spent a lot of time in the first hour playing some tunes, and I have one more song too lined up for the end of the show today that is very special to me. And then tonight at 7 p.m., Joe Lar has alerted me that we will have a Van Halen tribute show at 7 p.m. right here on WMNH. So you will want to stick around for that. Dennis Daniel, also known as DJ Double Vision, also in the Facebook live chat. Let's see. I think there was somebody else in there that Miriam Banish has also joined us in there. I'm not sure if I mentioned Miriam. We do have a little bit of time left if you'd like to get in with a call. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. You can also send a text to 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can always interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, but the best thing to do is give us a call at 603-250-6007. Been a little bit of a weird show today. You know, we've discussed a little bit of politics, but we've also been talking a lot about Van Halen in the wake of the passing of Eddie Van Halen at age 65 due to cancer. And so very, very sad news. But we can talk about anything you'd like if you want to call in the remaining time that we have today. By the way, I want to remind everyone, of course, about our wonderful sponsor, the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. They're closed today. They're closed Monday and Tuesday. That's their weekend, but they will be open tomorrow. Of course, they have trivia night on Wednesday night. But if you missed yesterday's show, Kenny from the Hop Knot was here with us in studio. We had Kenny here. Jenny was at the news desk. Kenny in the studio, and our new friend Gracie Gatto joined us via Skype as we continued our Monday series of discussions on race and social justice issues. I think we've been doing that for a couple of months now. And, it's been going really well. The feedback that we get on it has been stellar. People seem to really like it and find it informative and productive and so forth. So, we'll keep it going because obviously these issues will not be resolved anytime soon. So, but if you missed it, of course, it is up and available on the website at WMNHradio.org, where we do archive all the programs. And it's always great to hang out with Kenny too. And please check out the Hop Knot. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. It's a fantastic place. And we're very honored and privileged to have them as a sponsor. And we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, it's EG calling back. Hey, I thought the listeners are looking for something to do the end of the month. The Palestinians having a show called the British Rock Experience, and you can either go palestina.org or 668-5588, and they give away free tickets. I took advantage of it, so I'm going to go see opening night, October 23rd, to the theater, and it's going to cost me no money.
By the way, well, that's exciting. And by the way, would you like to respond, EZG, to the comments made earlier by our friend Texas Mike that you chickened out on your battle of wits?
Oh yeah, well I did because I wasn't feeling well with my feet and legs, so he won and forfeit.
He won by forfeit, which means you, sir, have egg on your face.
Yeah, I did. It was funny. The other day I was listening to the news and talking about the president, and I don't forget what they were talking about, but somebody said, "Hey, that guy's got egg on his face." I said, "Hey, you stole my." I was laughing.
Yes, because you're usually
somebody
the
on
one
of those big channels, like 41 or 42, said that guy's got egg on his face. I couldn't believe it. I was so stop laughing, Matt.
we're used to you being the one with egg on your face.
Yeah, true. Yes, I love that song there. You got egg on your face.
Egg on
and
your
bacon
face,
and eggs,
bacon and
scrambled.
eggs.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
All over your face with the egg on your face.
You have to play that tomorrow when I'm on the when it's time for me before I do my entertainment report.
You kidding me? I'm going to play it right now.
I mean after I do my entertainment report actually, because I already got the DJ Midas song. So.
Uh-huh.
We don't want to forget about that. All the hard work he did of getting that song ready.
That's right.
It started spreading all over the
Anyway, so see you tomorrow.
My doctor
Bye-bye.
said he'd never seen such a case of waking up with egg on my face.
I added some bacon to the egg on my face. It started spreading all over the place. My doctor said he'd never seen such a case of bacon and egg on my face.
What do you do with egg on your face? You mess it around all over the place. I added some toast to the egg on my face. It started spreading all over the place. My doctor said he'd never seen such a case of toast and bacon and egg on my face.
I added some ketchup to the egg on my face. It started spreading all over the place. My doctor said he'd never seen such a case of ketchup and toast and bacon and egg on my face.
What do you do with egg on your face? You mess it around all over the place, over the place. I looked in the mirror and said, what a disgrace. When I saw the ketchup and toast and bacon and egg all over my face. I had myself for breakfast, now there isn't a trace of waking up with egg on my face. I looked in the mirror and said, what a disgrace. When I saw the ketchup and toast and bacon and egg all over my face. I had myself for breakfast, now there isn't a trace of waking up with egg on my face. I've recovered from the egg on my face.
Texas Mike, have you ever had egg on your face?
I have not.
What about Texas toast?
Probably.
Yes, yes. Easy G has egg on his face, but at least he graciously admitted defeat.
Yes.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Couple of programming notes. So Congressman Pappas was not able to join us, our friend Congressman Chris Pappas, for our usual Tuesday call this week because things are pretty intense in Washington, D.C. These days, as you can imagine. And so he had a schedule conflict. He was very apologetic. He really enjoys calling into the show, or so he says. No, we enjoy talking with him, but he will join us next week, although it's going to have to be Wednesday of next week. But he will be calling us next week to continue our discussions. And then this week, tomorrow's Wednesday, Easy G will be calling us in the second half of the show for his entertainment report because he's not able to be here physically. He's a little bit under the weather. And Texas Mike, you're going to be on the morning show tomorrow morning?
Or they'll be talking about me, but I'll be at work.
Oh,
so.
you'll be at work, but yes.
Yeah.
But they'll be talking about you.
Yes.
Yeah, so you already know. Now, of course, the Baker's Dozen has been going on for a little bit, so
yeah,
you already know what to expect as far as the questions that our friend Paul Cormier will be asking you.
We'll see about that. Like I know the ones he did for EZG. So, but all the other ones were based on other things. So it's like going into somebody's personal life. That's a different story.
He might ask you some personal questions, potentially of a salacious nature.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you know, the legend of Texas Mike looms large.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Yes. Wow. If anyone else would like to get in with a call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You got a few minutes left. I've got one more Van Halen song I do want to play today. It's one of the longer ones, but it's one that means a lot to me that we'll be ending the show with, of course, as we're mourning the death of Eddie Van Halen at the age of 65. Tonight at 7 p.m. Will be a special Van Halen tribute here on the station, and we have another call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
I figured I'd call and make it a trifecta, ECG.
The trifecta. As you
Hey,
as
I
you
wanted to
often
ask you,
do.
Matt, about your opinion about your favorite wrestler there, the guy that likes to play with the dolls there. What's his name?
Bray Wyatt, the Fiend?
Yeah, Ray Wyatt now. What do you think of that, the role he's playing now? He's going after that Kevin Owen guy.
This is such good.
I haven't, I've been a little distracted. I've been very, very busy with a project that I've been working on. I haven't really paid, I haven't really paid as much attention, but when Jenny and I do watch.
And he's got that girl, too. He's got that girl, one of those woman wrestlers under his spell.
Alexa Bliss. She has a name, EZG,
Yeah.
please. Let's not be sexist.
So what do you think of that?
I like it. I think it's a very cool storyline, and they had to do something new with Alexa. She's been there for a while.
Yeah, true. They're really pushing up the Otis's old girlfriend there. She's on Raw now.
Oh,
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose.
They're
yeah.
really pushing her now for some reason. They're giving her a big push on Raw for some reason. Because on SmackDown, she was really just a pretty girl for Otis to hang out with. And now they're saying this, oh, wow, you're going to go out there and you're going to wrestle.
I like Otis.
I never knew she was that good of a wrestler.
Otis is fun.
Yes, he is.
He's a great character.
Yes, he is.
Very entertaining.
Yeah.
They should push him to the
But
moon.
anyways, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and then they were making fun of him
Pins and
on
needles.
social media. Randy Orton says, most guys that lose twice on pay-per-views don't get a third shot. But apparently he's going to fight Drew McIntyre in Hell in the Cell.
Hell in the Cell.
Yep.
And then the guy from the Raw there, Roman Reigns is going to fight his cousin again.
Again?
But apparently there's a stipulation, I guess. I don't know if I'm thinking the only stipulation I can think of is the loser leaves WWE forever.
No, it's going to be a Hell in a Cell match.
Hell in the Cell.
Because
Maybe, I don't know, because
because
what other stipulation could there be?
I just said the stipulation. That's the next pay-per-view, you meanie.
Yeah, Hell in the Cell, yeah.
Shots fired.
Where you never leave the same man or woman after the match.
That's right. That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
I do like.
To see what happens. I think they're going to get Roman Reigns a long run as champion.
They
at
should.
least to WrestleMania.
I do like Roman Reigns as a villain. They finally
Oh
figured
yeah,
out.
speaking of
how to
WrestleMania,
make
did
him
you hear now
interesting.
they're not going to play in California anymore? The new rumors are going to play in Tampa, where they're going to host the same little event called the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're not playing in the new stadium in California, the new $5 billion stadium.
Well,
but of course, it remains to be seen if they can't, because the main reason they left California, I guess they can't have the big stage events because of COVID.
Well, yeah, COVID
And you know,
is.
Florida, they'll do anything stupid over there, although at times they've hosted those crazy wrestlers.
Well, Ron DeSantis said it's an essential business.
Yep.
I guess Florida doesn't care about the COVID. I guess they figure it's over now, but California is more with it as far as the program. But it remains to be seen whether they can gather and have 40,000 people, 50,000 people in the stadium.
What's the matter,
I
Texas
that's,
Mike?
hard to believe that'll happen anytime soon.
Oh, boy. During your wrestling career, Texas Mike, would you have been comfortable wrestling with the COVID?
No.
No.
Well, there you go. Well, it's a good thing you're retired now.
But Donald Trump wrestled the COVID. He beat it. Pinned it to the mat.
I don't think he's beat anything. I think he still has it.
Oh, that's right. I don't think he knows that, though. He thinks he's immune.
Yeah, true.
He literally said,
Well,
I
I'm
might
going to
be
hang up
immune.
now because the show's running out of time. So talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Eric. Bye-bye.
This is such good.
Well, we are out of time. I have one more song. I do want to play one more Van Halen song as we mourn the loss of Eddie Van Halen today at the age of 65 from cancer. Mikey Martineau, thank you so much, my friend.
You are welcome.
Be sure to tune in to the morning show tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. the morning show with Peter White and along with Daryl Dion and Paul Cormier. And Paul will be doing the Baker's Dozen, and it sounds like our friend Mikey Martineau will be the subject of tomorrow's segment.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will be.
Very good. I'll be listening to that. Very exciting. And thank you to everybody who participated today. And, a tough day. It's a terrible loss. Eddie Van Halen. I'm going to, and of course, tonight at 7 p.m., the Van Halen tribute that will be airing live here on WMNH. So it'll be, I assume, it'll be exclusively Van Halen. So make sure you stick around for that. And I'm going to wrap up today's show. This is a personal favorite Van Halen song of mine. This is from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. And this is right now to close out today's edition of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Thanks, everybody.